I started keeping these books that I would try to contribute to pretty much every day, and there was really no rules about how they worked. There were thoughts, writings, watercolor paintings, pasted ticket stubs, pasted business card, pasted flowers and insects, and they really started to become a record of my life as I lived it. This is a packing list for a trip I took for 2 months in Vietnam and Burma. I documented every single item that was going into my backpack. It was a remarkably small amount of stuff, actually. This is a man I met in a cafe in Saigon in Vietnam. This is another scene from another cafe, I think earlier that same evening. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this one here. This was at the Temple of Literature in Hanoi, Vietnam, and I was drawing a portrait of this young guy, and he was also an artist, and he was drawing a portrait of me at the same time, and it became this incredible kind of spectator sport, and about 30 or 40 people gathered around us, shifting from person to person, watching. So I came back from this trip, and I realized that I was seeking something that would allow me to communicate these ideas and these impressions to a much larger number of people. And that's when I started working with the internet. I started working on these ideas with a project called We Feel Fine, which I made about a year ago. And that's a piece that is a global study of human emotion using large-scale blog analysis. So We Feel Fine scans the world's newly posted blog entries every 2 or 3 minutes, looking for the sentence, I feel or I am feeling. And when it finds one of those phrases, it grabs the full sentence up to the period. We also try to find the gender and the age and the geographical location of the person that wrote that sentence. And then knowing the location and the time, we can also figure out what the weather was when they wrote that sentence. So scrolling through the list.
So feeling.
I love the little ones. Yeah, it's like,
So if you click on one of those, what happens?
it loads all the people who feel that way.
Happening.
Yeah. I feel inclined, feel violated. So I can click. Looking for feelings from people who feel violated. So they're all the same color because they're the same feeling. It's made me want to keep telling stories, really. That's the thing that it leaves me with. But there's so many more ways to tell stories. There's so many more ways to have people connect and have people see their commonalities. Humans have this very long and colorful history of projecting their great stories into the sky. If we could make new constellations today in the sky, what would those look like? What would we draw? Who are the heroes and heroines today? Who are the gods and goddesses? What are the great myths, the great themes? And those were the questions that formed the inspiration for my latest project, Universe, which actually just launched today. Universe is really a system that tries to explore this question of modern mythology. And it does that by presenting an interactive night sky filled with thousands of individual stars, each of which are twinkling and moving slowly across a shifting aurora borealis in the background. Each of these stars actually is not random. It actually corresponds to a specific counterpart in the real physical world, whether that's a story, a quote, an image, a person, a company, a mythic theme. Those are the constellations of universe. And as you start moving your cursor through the sky, you see that the stars begin to connect to each other and they form constellations. And we're now looking at the universe of 2007, so the last couple of months. And you see the word president, Nicole, secretary, funeral, Iraq. Any constellation can be selected to become the center of the universe. And when that happens, everything else in the universe enters that constellation's orbit. Anything can be the hub, anything can be the center. And I really believe that that's the future of information presentation. I really believe that the metaphor of the page as an organizing principle is dead. It's just archaic, it doesn't work anymore. I think what's a better approach is to portray a world of connectivity, a world of connections, a huge connected graph where any node in the graph can be the first order node and everything else is expressed in its relation to that node. There's many ways to tell stories, I think, and I'm still searching for the ultimate way. I don't think humans have found it yet. I think there's some next step in the evolution of storytelling. And I think it will happen on the internet, and I think it'll happen in a global way. But I don't think the tool has been created yet.